and welcome to the Women's Ally 2020 Virtual Fall Benefit, an Ally celebration. My name is Stephanie Rhodes Russell, and I am the Executive Director and founder of Women's Artistic Leadership Initiative. 2020 has been an unusual year, to say the least, but it's hit the arts with especially strong force. At Women's Ally, our organization is dedicated to educating young female artists in essential business and leadership skills. And this year, that mission has taken on increased urgency. We need strong leaders in our arts organizations. We need strong leaders in our communities, in our homes. We need female representation, and we need thriving artists. This summer, we hosted our Summer Leadership Intensive virtually and welcomed 40 ALI Fellows to explore the theme, Create Art, Create Opportunity. With roundtable discussions, workshops, keynotes, and more, we dove into business topics such as contracts, negotiation skills, personal branding, leveraging social media to build your brand, and much, much more. It was truly an intensive. But the Summer Leadership Intensive is only the beginning of the ALI Fellow experience. They continue their work with the Mentor Alliance after the intensive, and Women's Ally hosts a continuing education series. This fall, the focus has been finance, covering topics that the ALI Fellows themselves suggested after the intensive concluded. We also try to provide them with opportunities to exercise their leadership and business skills, and tonight is a perfect example of that. Our Fall Benefit Committee consists entirely of ALI Fellows that have worked in partnership with ALI staff members to create an incredible silent auction and this virtual program. I want to turn the time over to them, but I hope you enjoy this experience as you get to know our ALI Fellows a bit better and our organization in turn.
My name is Merinda Christensen, and I am the event chair for the Fall Benefit Committee. I am so grateful for the opportunity to be a 2020 ALI Fellow and to be a part of an amazing group of female artists that are constantly inspiring me every day. I'm excited to introduce the rest of my committee.
Hello, my name is Esther, and Women's Ally has helped me realize my potential as a female artist and leader. It has taught me many valuable business skills and given me the opportunities to use them. I've also learned the value of collaboration, which is very powerful.
My name is Courtney Lawson. Women's Ally is important to me because it's provided me the toolkit I need to succeed as a businesswoman in the arts.
My name is Callie Gardner, and Women's ALI has given me confidence to build my own brand and market myself as a performer, educator, and a creator.
All of our experiences as ALI Fellows have been very special, and we're excited to be with you tonight. We can't wait to share the talents of our ALI Fellows and our mentors, and we hope that you leave feeling inspired and empowered.
Children's book illustration and violin performance may not initially seem to have very much in common, but our 2020 ALI Fellows, Valentina Paolucci and Mallory Evans, came together in a very creative and inspirational process from a distance. Mallory is currently a senior at Brigham Young University studying illustration, and Valentina is a junior studying violin performance at Florida State University. We hope you enjoy.
Great. Hi, Valentina.
Hi, nice to see you guys.
Yeah, nice to see you too. Where are you at, Valentina?
I'm in South Florida right now.
Oh, fun.
I mean, I don't mind like recording something in the next week or 10 days or so. The Four Seasons by Vivaldi that are, if you wanted to do anything that has to do with the seasons, I could do any of those four.
That could be really fun. Yeah, if you wanted to kind of go along that route, I could definitely come up with a couple illustrations.
The tune that I chose is Autumn in New York by Vernon Duke. This piece goes way beyond the lyrics. It paints a picture of New York City in the autumn time, and it provides a feeling that, connects the visual aspect of it. So I thought that this would be a great piece to do with an illustrator. So I hope you guys enjoy this project, and I'm very excited about it.
I thought I would show you my workspace. So this is my kind of corner that I use when I'm making stuff. Painting supplies, and then sometimes if I want to really focus, I'll light a candle and bring my stuff over here, even if I'm working digitally. It's a better place for me to think.
You want to do a dance move? Dance move?
I think collaborating with other women is empowering because I think we're stronger together rather than apart, and I think it's important for us to encourage each other and uplift other women around us so that we can be able to utilize our abilities and share the messages that we need to share.
COVID-19 has changed my perception of collaborating and creating art because it forces people to collaborate across space. Like you can't really collaborate in the same space, and if you can, your time together is limited. But it has also allowed me to expand my community that I collaborate with. So I was recently able to collaborate with someone in New York at the same time as with someone in Tennessee and in Arizona, which that wouldn't have been possible if not for COVID-19, which is not the greatest thing still, but it forces people to rethink how they approach the arts and redefine the place of art in our lives.
I think Women's Ally came at a great time in my life because I think a lot of us performers and artists felt really discouraged and looking at our bleak future during the times of COVID, and I think Women's Ally gave me the confidence and these new ideas and the creativity to find solutions and to still collaborate during this time and to be able to still create art and bring happiness to people in new ways.
Women's Ally has inspired me to develop more leadership skills. I have tended to shy away from anything that puts me in a leadership position. So Women's Ally has helped me develop leadership skills and feel more confident in stepping into leadership roles.
I'm so grateful for my mentor, Lauren McNeese. She's a mezzo-soprano and she's been just a joy to work with. We've really connected and she's been really helpful for me during this time of what do we do next as a performer.
So often, the only part of the creative process that we get to share as artists is the performance or the final product. But so much of the creativity, the learning, and the collaboration happens as we study, rehearse, make mistakes, and grow. We love sharing the behind-the-scenes look with you, but the performance is still worth seeing. So let's check out the product of the first two collaborations.
That was such a stunning performance, and it's a privilege to be a part of a concert audience, even if it's from the comfort of our own homes for just a minute. So thank you for that. In the 2.5 years that I've been able to work with Women's Ally, I have really seen this organization take shape. Like any great piece of art, it started out as just a vision and has become a reality. And I'm blown away at the amount of people it takes to make that reality happen, from silent auction donors to individual sponsors, the countless man hours and volunteer hours that have to happen, the engagement on a single social media post, and especially our mentors who give so much of their time to help these Ally Fellows individually. Every single bit of it matters. I've been able to oversee the silent auction for the past 2 years, which has been so fun to see our community really come together and the support that's brought there. So we'd like to take a minute now to thank all of those silent auction donors that have so generously given to our 2020 silent auction. Art begins in the mind. It requires vision, the ability to hear something or see something where there's nothing and then create it. And our next 2 Ally Fellows do just that as they create worlds of their own.
I find inspiration in everything I see, and I like to break down images and information and create something new or altered out of them. In a sense, I really just take existing ideas and precedents and juxtapose and manipulate them in a way that is cohesive with my vision for a space. There are infinite combinations to explore, and I do my best to define materiality and form in architecture in a way that communicates my intended concept.
I think it's important for artists to pull inspiration from kind of reality in the world we live in, because that helps people
kind of relate to what they're looking at. Like they can see themselves in the position of these characters or in the stories. So I think pulling from reality is pretty important. And I think like, you know, the world isn't always like good, like there's like good and bad in it. So the job of artists is to kind of take those bad parts and turn them into something good or what they want to see with their art.
I begin every design with an idea or something I'm passionate about and want to research and delve into. I gather inspiration in historic precedents in order to mold a design concept and visual aesthetic. Often, I also sketch out ideas that I potentially want to incorporate, and in the case of new construction, begin to space plan and build up my architectural elements while keeping in mind my inspiration in the elements and principles of design. I search for furnishings and pieces that are cohesive with my design concept and aesthetic and are equal in form and function. After a lot of trial and error and many critiques and rough drafts, I come up with a final product. My design process hasn't changed much over time, but it's become much more organized and streamlined as I've developed in my education.
My process right now, because I'd like to do concept art, is very iterative, so I have to like come up with a bunch of different ideas and designs for people to look at and then decide if they like it or not. So my process kind of consists of like brainstorming what type of, if I'm doing a character, like what type of person this character is going to be, like what their story is, what culture they come from, what setting it takes place in. So kind of all those elements inform me and how I would design this character. And then I'll go in and find photo reference to try to make something that's believable and then bend it to make it unique. So it's kind of just a lot of iteration and a lot of brainstorming to end up with the final result. So female representation is super important in the arts because the arts industry is often a male-dominated industry. And that's definitely the case for the games industry. Many games are made by men for men, so women kind of get left out of the narrative. Oftentimes women are used as like just objects to move the story along, just supporting characters, or they're hypersexualized, so that's not really a fair representation of women. And interestingly enough, there is a large population of women that do play games, so to see them misrepresented isn't fair. And even more so, the amount of women who play games is even more than the very small percentage of women that actually make the games and have a say in what is created. So I think female representation is super important to make more authentic and real stories that cater to wider audiences. And I hope I have the opportunity to help change that narrative, to inspire other girls to play games, and then to also inspire them that they can also work in the games industry.
During the introduction to our Summer Leadership Intensive this past August, we became familiar with the concept of creating our own career path and adopting an innovative mindset in order to uniquely succeed in the creative world. This philosophy inspired me to think outside of my preconceived ideas about a career in the design industry and to create new opportunities for myself.
The Summer Leadership Intensive brought up a lot of topics that I think are important for artists to know. Probably my biggest takeaways from that related to kind of how I want to run my art businesses. A point that was made is being the CEO of your own business, treating your art as a business, you're an artist, but you also need to do the business side as well. So I think shifting the mindset to that.
It's inspiring and uplifting to belong to an organization that empowers creative young women to develop their talents and expand their capacity for learning. I'm grateful to be associated with so many peers that are in the same stage of their career in a field that can be very individualistic and isolating.
I am studying Masters of Piano Performance and Pedagogy at Utah State University. When young piano students are learning how to play, they play a lot of Bach, a lot of Beethoven, a lot of Mozart, a lot of these dead old men. And I think it is so valuable for them to see representation and see themselves, and as well as just see other types of people. So I've been exploring the different historical female composers, specifically 1925 and before, so that piano students can play pieces by women in these historical eras, and they can hear different voices than the ones that they've heard a million times over. This is actually something my male students have really loved as well. They just love to hear different voices, different backgrounds, and different types of music. So I've been compiling these pieces that are appropriate for children, written by women from about 1600 to about 1925, grading them by level, and should be publishing them into editions for teachers and piano students within the next year or so. Milton Lawfer is a great musicologist that Women's Ally connected me with. He is the definitive editor of the composer Albanese. He is the definitive editor of the composer Albanese, and so he kind of helped me know how to talk to publishers, how exactly the copyright process works, how to get things ready for publishing. He's been wonderful and supportive and just a doll of a person. Graduate project mostly focuses on a composer named Fanny Mendelssohn Hensel. From the moment I heard her music, she really connected with me. I felt like we spoke the same language. And then I read her biography and I realized we have so many of the same life events. We got married around the same age, history of infertility, repeated miscarriages, and then one healthy full-term boy. And I don't know if that's why we speak the same musical language, but I love this connection that I have to her. And I wouldn't have that without motherhood.
Loved seeing these collaborations come to life and the dedication that these ALI Fellows are putting forth to create these experiences for themselves. I continue to be inspired every day by these artistic talents that these fellows hold and the way they are using them to empower others. As a few of our fellows have already mentioned, the Mentor Alliance program is one of the incredible parts of this ALI experience. Each of our fellows will be given an interview and then they are then matched with a mentor based on their professional goals and artistic talents, backgrounds, and career interests. I was mentor matched with Anna Matson of the Lyric Opera of Chicago. I am currently a harp performance major at the University of Utah and recently this last year got an internship at the U where I have found a passion for arts administration. And learning about the development side of a company from someone that understands it at such a high level has been very invaluable. My Mentor Alliance has given me the opportunity to turn to someone
who has experience in that field that I go in and can provide me with support and guidance as I prepare for a successful future. And I will be forever grateful for that connection that I have formed with Anna since the summer intensive. We are thrilled to be highlighting two of our members of our Mentor Alliance. The first one is Emily Shea of Emily Shea Arts.
So a few years ago, I was a new mom. I had kind of lost my drive, lost who I was a little bit, and I started making art again. I've always done art, but I really buckled down a few years ago and tried to almost use it as a therapy to just come back into myself. And I started doing more quantity than quality, and the practice of making it happen regularly in my life lit me up in such a way that I felt like not only might it help me, but it might help others. And the more I did it, the more I realized how much I love to draw not just the human figure, but specifically women. There's something so beautiful about women, and you combine that with specifically women that have done so much and inspired so many people. I've always looked up to Harriet Tubman and Joan of Arc. They've really made an impact on my life, and so one day I felt like learning a little bit more about Joan. She's one of the very first mighty women that I ever painted, and she was so young. She was only 12 years old when she had her first vision, and I was just so inspired by her and felt like I just had to paint her. So once I painted her, I moved on to another inspiring woman, and the more I learned about these women, it lit this fire within me, and it helped me so much just feel like I can be like them. I can, and all of us can be like them, be inspired, not only be inspired by them, but be lit with this fire that we can make an impact just like them. So one thing that is very important that I've learned along my personal journey is how important it is to gain more skill sets than just creativity and just creating art. You have that as like obviously what's going to sell it, but how else are you going to get it out into the world? How are you going to make this art and then share it and make an impact? And one of the most important things in creating this confidence to be able to do that is increasing your skill set and your abilities to reach people. And there's so many diverse ways, but if you are not able to open yourself up into the business world and learn specifically marketing, then there's no way that you can reach the people that you're hoping. So last thing, I just am so grateful that I've been able to work with Women's Ally. They do so much in helping women become the absolute highest version of themselves possible in creating and expressing their art and teaching them how to bring it forth into the world and be successful. And I am just so impressed with them and grateful to be a part of this.
Hi, I'm Chelsea Wilson. I'm the founder and owner of Chelsea Wilson Vocal Studio, and I'm a Women's Ally mentor. I transitioned to being a teacher much earlier than I thought I would in my life. I anticipated having a long, illustrious musical theater performance career before transitioning to becoming a voice teacher, which was always a long-term goal of mine, always something that I had in mind. So you want to be Christine Daae? Here are the actual exercises that I use in voice lessons with the Broadway Christines and the International Tour Christines, because I'm the vocal coach. Returning to chest voice each time. Also, messa de voce. But I ended up choosing the path of becoming a full-time voice teacher much earlier than I planned. And I'm very glad that that's how it worked out. But that being said, the timing of all of that meant that I was kind of thrust into building a business, building a vocal studio at a young age with no real experience in knowing how to do that. I could teach a great voice lesson. I could help singers along their path and helping them to achieve their goals. But building a business and attracting clients and everything that comes along with that was a real challenge. Thankfully for me, I had some family and friends and mentors in the voice community who helped me along the way, but that was a real learning curve. This is why I think it's so important for young artists, particularly young female artists, to have concrete examples of what it looks like to succeed in their chosen field. I'm really thrilled to be part of this mentorship alliance, working with young female artists, because I hope to pass on some of the information that I've learned from 10 years of growing a vocal studio in New York City, one of the most challenging places to build a business. There are a lot of things that I wish I had known sooner or wish I had done differently, and I hope to pass along that information to another generation of artists.
How could I know I would have to leave you? How could I know I would hurt you so? You were the one I was born to love. Oh, how could I ever know? How could I ever know? How can I say to go on without me? How, when I know you still need me so? How can I say not to dream about me? How could I ever know? How could I ever know? Forgive me, can you forgive me and hold me in your heart and find some new way to love me now that we're apart? How could I know I would never hold you, never again in this world, but oh, sure as you breathe, I am there inside you. Oh, could I ever know? How could I ever know?
The Mentor Alliance is such a powerful part of Women's ALI Fellowship, and we're grateful for all the mentors who volunteered their time in such a meaningful way. The 2020 ALI Fellow experience began this past August with the virtual Summer Leadership Intensive. That was when we first virtually met our mentors, and we had a series of workshops, presentations, and keynotes on business and leadership skills. It was definitely an intensive. One main takeaway for me was the importance of leadership in our communities and strengthening those roles. For the next year, Women's Ally offers ongoing educational sessions for fellows and last month's was on budgeting for freelancers and internships or leadership development opportunities, such as working on the Fall Benefit Committee. I've been working with staff member and friends with and overseeing the silent auction and hope you'll take a chance to visit it before it closes at 9 p.m. Your bidding and donations are what make it all possible for us, so thank you.
Final two collaborations feature voice, harp, dance, photography, and film from our ALI Fellows. As I worked on the Fall Benefit Committee, I found myself repeatedly inspired by the incredible women that I was able to connect with during the Summer Leadership Intensive. Tonight, you're seeing just a glimpse of their efforts, but really, it's the beginning of a bright future.
Hi, my name is Bailey Jorgensen. I accompanied Abby Ketch singing Chanson Triste by Duparc. I'm grateful for this experience of taking a piano accompaniment and adapting it for the harp, staying as true to the original notes as possible while still making it possible to play on my instrument.
Okay, you're gonna hold it down as you're descending. And what, for me, and we might have some more of those types, who knows? In this area, I feel almost like a second trapdoor lift. I have to stretch even higher from here and above.
Hello, my name is Abby Ketch. I became associated with Women's Ally about 2 years ago through their summer program. And one of the main things that Women's Ally has taught me is the importance of networking. That's how I was able to find my current job working at a studio in Provo. That's how I was able to collaborate with my piano teacher to become a more competent voice teacher. And Women's Ally has also helped me know my values as a performer and know how to better pursue my path with music.
when it comes to like music and dance and things that are usually very performative, I've been trying to use a mixture of like camera movements and positions and different techniques to really capture the feeling that you get while you're watching them perform live. But because that isn't a thing in this time and it's not exactly the same, it's almost a way of like seeing more up close and personal, like what their performances are like, the feelings that ensues into the audience. I think that improving my leadership skills has been really important because it has taught me a lot about the power of leadership as well as the power of networking. And I think that both of those things are really important in art and in film in general. The bigger your network, the more likely you are to become successful. And for myself, I'm in the process of creating a business that is centered like around BIPOC and LGBTQ plus characters and people and storylines. And I think that because there's not a lot of that in the mainstream, it really takes a lot of leadership skills to kind of push that through, which I feel like the Women's Ally Summer Leadership Intensive has taught me a lot about utilizing myself as a very powerful asset and tool to further my goal in my business and career growth. My name is Leela Solari, and I'm a filmmaker, student at the University of Utah, and I approve this message.
Women's Ally has given me the materials I need to build my future upon a foundation of support from other female artists.
When women artists come together, anything is possible.
I never pictured myself filling a leadership position, but Women's Ally has given me the opportunity to imagine that future for myself.
Thank you for joining us this evening and for being a part of the Women's Ally community. Change takes people. It takes collaboration. It takes time, dedication, commitment, so much hard work. It takes our Ally Fellows, our incredible Mentor Alliance, our board of directors, and our dedicated staff of volunteers. We invite you to be part of that change and consider donating to an Ally Fellow scholarship. All these women attend the Summer Leadership Intensive and have the Ally Fellow experience at no cost because we believe that women from all backgrounds deserve these opportunities. All proceeds from this event will go directly to scholarships. That includes anything donated via the silent auction or through our website. So please consider being part of that impact. Thank you for supporting the next generation of future female leaders.
Have creative. Can I start over? Yeah. I'm rambling.
You're good. Just start back to where you want to start. Whatever you want.
Like, yeah. You're so sweaty. It's not even like you guys are my friends. Like what the heck? Okay.
Are marginalized within. Oh boy, I just
lost my
train of thought.
I'm just gonna
I just need to like make it clear besides like. I don't know if you guys seen The Office.
Oh yes.
I was like. Don't, for any reason, under any circumstances ever, and like the sentence doesn't make sense. That's how it felt. We have experiences that we share.
Awesome.
Sorry, I ramble and I stutter, but I hope you can clip it out.
No worries. Action.
I'm really grateful for, that sounded so insincere. Gag me.